My allergies are super bad today, so I just want to apologize ahead of time. I'm going to sound like I can't breathe through my nose for the rest of the video, and that's because I literally cannot. When I was a young man, I was diagnosed with ADHD, also known as attention deficit. Oh look, a squirrel. Every single time I start a new game, my brain is instantly measuring how much dopamine I'm extracting from the experience. This often heavily dictates what games I do and do not enjoy. Games with high amounts of dopamine, boom, 1,000 hours easily. Next. Games with low dopamine, get the fuck out of here now. However, there are exceptions. Every now and then, I'll find a game that appeals not to the addiction-riddled monkey in my brain, but instead to the artist deep within my passionate soul. Recently, that game was No Rest for the Wicked. This game has something that Video Game Donkey calls slickness. The visuals, peak. The voice acting, phenomenal. They got that guy from Skyrim, and I can literally always tell when it's him.
A welcome sight, though, aren't they? About time Phelan sent reinforcements.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often?
The sound design is just bar none. Listen to this. To top it all off, my monkey brain still gets to indulge in all that delicious build crafting that Wicked provides. But what does that have to do with today's challenge, you may be asking? Absolutely nothing. I just wanted to glaze this game because I fucking love it. But first, how about a little ad break? There's a game I've been playing recently that surprised me. It takes one of the most established turn-based systems out there and just dropped a full Assassin's Creed collaboration into it. Stay with me, because there's a way to unlock a free legendary champion, and it's a limited time event. I'm of course talking about Raid Shadow Legends. They've released a cinematic for the event, and the production quality is honestly impressive. The choreography, the hidden blade details, it genuinely captures the Assassin's Creed tone. 5 assassins are joining Raid as legendary champions for a limited time. Ezio, Edward Kenway, Bayek of Siwa, Basim, Cassandra, and you can unlock Ezio for free just by logging in for 7 days during the event. What stands out is how faithful the designs are. Ezio's animations use precise hidden blade strikes. Mechanically, he applies debuffs to weaken enemies before cutting through defenses. There's also an event dungeon featuring Pontiff Augustine, a zealot who's discovered a piece of Eden and is using it for his own gain. Clearing it earns limited time chronophage gear and other high value sets. Download Raid today using my link in the description or scan my QR code. You'll unlock legendary support champion Narma the Returned, at level 15 the Epic Mausoleum Mage, and lastly, you can choose one of 6 promo codes for a free legendary champion. You can only redeem one, and personally I recommend Sun Wukong as he's extremely strong in progression and versatile across multiple modes. These bonuses are only available if you download through my custom link and redeem within 48 hours. This Assassin's Creed event is limited, so if you're interested, now's the time, people. Thanks again, Raid, for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the content. With all this starting on a beach, you'd think this was a Larian game, am I right? My monstrous creation, now known as Seymour Butts, has literally 0 options for killing things. So for the first and last time in this run, I'm taking full advantage of my light dodge to quickly dash across the beach, looting everything in sight. As I'm picking things up, I begin to rack my brain, thinking of any options available for killing something without actually attacking. After suffering my first death, I had an idea. If you equip enough armor and weapons, your character weight will become Hiavi, which is Latin for too much weight. While Hiavi, you have the worst dodge roll in any game ever, but the trade-off is now you can perform a shove action by pressing R1 and L1 at the same time. You would be surprised at how many enemies can actually be shoved off ledges or drowned in water. On my first playthrough, I died probably 100 times from the plethora of ledges, heights, and lethal falls this game throws at you. But now it's a literal godsend. Practically every area in the game has a way to knock someone to their death. And guess what? It's actually viable. If the enemy is already lined up perfectly, they instantly die with one shove and still leave behind their XP and items. Next time you're playing a tank build, give this a try. It is a lot better than it seems. Now, one of the few areas that don't have a ledge is the room where we encounter the blacksmith. I gave the brutes the slip, but only for a moment. I need to quickly find a way to bolster my defense. Oh, what are they doing? With the lever in my possession, I can easily make my way to the first boss. Now here's the problem. The boss can't actually be shoved off a ledge, at least not to my knowledge. Thankfully, the game appears to have a gargantuan boost to fallen ember drop rates within the first few levels of Orban Glades in the Shallows. Now I just need to get lucky enough to roll thorns on just one piece of gear with the few embers that I have. Aha! Okay, there's something. There's thorns. Nice, dude. Okay, there's one. Nice, dude. Another thorns. Oh, it's a high roll too. Let's go. I'm sure this luck will definitely hold up throughout the rest of the run. I started the boss fight, not feeling entirely confident I'd be able to stay alive. However, I quickly learned that blocking gives a pretty decent amount of focus, as well as still proccing thorns. This means you still get the damage resistance and poise boost from blocking, the thorns damage, and a steady supply of focus for healing. It was time consuming, but the boss died on my very first attempt. Nice, dude. Eat it. I didn't have to touch that man. Not even once did I have to touch him. This has to be a reference to Bloodborne, right? Like, this exact shot in front of the moon reminds me so much of Master Willem and Lawrence. Anyways, I need a home, I need a special rune from Eleanor, and I need more gear with thorns on it. But before we can work on that, I have to check on this little girl's parents. I'm sure they're all right, little one. They are not all right. Jesus Christ, they are both very, very dead. Pretty sure that poor little girl's mom killed her dad and then herself. There is a lot of blood everywhere. It's hard to tell who is who because it's really just a mess. She'll be fine. Or she'll be the antagonist for the next game. Have you ever been under-leveled for a weekly boss? Simply put on some Hiavi armor, push them into the water, and hold them down until they can't breathe anymore. The rewards gave me some gear with thorns on it. And while it's not a massive boost in damage, it's certainly better than what I had before. Something that would give me a massive boost is the utility rune sold by Eleanor, simply called Thorns. This seems to give somewhere around 85% thorns that do stack with your gear. The problem is, she's not selling it. Why is she not selling thorns? Does she fucking hate me?
She said she was 12!
Even after upgrading her store twice, it just wasn't showing up. Merchants rotate their inventory on a daily basis, and I gotta be honest, this is the only thing that sort of irritates me about Wicked. I had to wait 3 entire human days before she finally had it in her inventory. That means I would log in, check her inventory, and if she didn't have it, I just wouldn't record that day. I probably could have done the nameless pass without it, but I just didn't want it. Also, I thought about going to a different world where I'd already beaten the game to check her inventory, but I don't know if that would be like cheating or a violation of the run, so you all just let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Regardless, here's our damage before the rune, and here's our damage after. It only takes 50 focus to activate this power that lasts for 2 straight minutes. This is a massive upgrade. I went ahead and dumped a few hours into farming for silver, purchased the manor, and began making a house a home. I also managed to place a few things to help me process materials, and then headed for the nameless pass. At some point, I found this absolute god roll of a shield. Oh yes, what the fuck? High roll for thorns, damage resistance while blocking, and increased poise. It literally doesn't get any better than this. However, I did have to roll the negative to something a little more manageable. Now, while fighting the pig dudes, the ones with electricity made me realize that elemental damage is going to be a problem. The witches are also chunking me with fire status buildup. I could normally manage it if I spam heals and actually dodge a few of the attacks. Before long, I'm waltzing up to this absolutely stunning scene. From here forward, every single cutscene, boss intro, character voice line, it's all truly so well done.
Some of them begged. Some of them prayed.
Oh, I love this.
When we took their eyes and cut their throats.
Ooh.
But there are no gods to answer. Not even yours.
That's like on par with Bear Witness for me. That intro is insane. This boss fight was surprisingly easy. As long as I don't get hit by any elemental attacks, I can out-heal the damage that he's doing. I was worried that maybe the DPS from Thorns was just too low and not really worth an entire build, but by the end of the video, there's one piece of gear that just takes the whole thing to another level. But we'll get there. Holy shit. I can't believe that worked. Okay. We did it. Ooh, not the double legendary. Before we move on, I just wanted to say that the channel likely has passed or will be on the verge of passing 100,000 subscribers by the time you're seeing this. This is a very, very big deal for me. I've been waiting on this for, I think it's been like 3 years now, and I legit cannot thank each of you enough for getting me here. However, I wanted to do a special little Q&A video so viewers can ask me questions. So feel free to comment literally any question and I'll answer it, within reason, of course. But yeah, that's it. Back to the video. If you edit this, you're gay. Wait! I'm gonna level with you. The rest of the game is pretty much what you've seen so far. For the sewer area, I didn't find a single new piece of gear, and I beat the boss with no trouble at all. He just kept banging against my shield, and I just kept out healing his damage. The Thorns build is insanely slow, and you'll almost never die, even with suboptimal equipment. So the rest of the video is no longer about whether or not you can beat the game without attacking, because obviously you can. I'm now just focusing on making this build as strong as possible. To start, physical damage bonuses do not affect Thorns damage, which really sucks because that could have made this build even more ridiculous. That also includes anything that says increase your damage, such as the damage boost rune and any passive that uses that specific wording. So ultimately, the only way to increase Thorns damage is to stack as much of it as humanly possible. So I farmed and I farmed, and I fished and I fished. I kept every single ember I found, as well as every single piece of corrupted gear that had a passive I needed. Then I farmed some more, and I fished some more, and I farmed some more, and I fished some more. I tried the Crucible, died of course, but managed to unlock the Seneschal and his shop. Eventually, after 10 plus hours, I farmed and fished for the last time. Here is the beautiful stack of embers we've got to work with. Now let's start piecing the build together. I decided to gamble for the Bane set since it matched the Thorns fashion I'm going for, and it's heavy armor, so I'll get tons of damage resistance. I already had a few of the blueprints, but don't get the leggings. They do not match at all. I went for the Gilded Spearman's leggings instead. After using every single one of those Fallen and Essence embers, this is what I put together. My shield was already insane. I just had to use a few Radiant Embers to increase it. This helmet I also found at one point, and it already had durable for its facet, so that was super lucky. I crafted like 10 plus chest pieces and went through a stupid amount of antlers just to get it to roll durable, but I got unlucky and just didn't get it. I realized Indestructible is a bad facet for the damage resistance passive, and I fixed that at a later time. Now the passive health regen is just ridiculous. That's one thing that really takes this to the next level. The passives on the gloves and leggings don't really matter as long as you get high percentages of Thorns. Now the build isn't totally complete, but it's certainly strong enough to carry me through the lowland meadows. Every medium-sized enemy is dying in just 3 or 4 hits, and when they try to heal, I just shove them to the ground. Even if the enemy isn't dying quickly, I have so much damage resistance that the passive health regen keeps my health topped off 24/7. I quickly made it to the boss, and if you enjoyed this fight, you should check out a movie called Annihilation, because I'm positive this bear is modeled after the one in the movie. It's insanely cool. It's one of my favorite Alien movies, actually, except the ending. That shit was dumb as hell.
Help me. Father, please.
Now, even though I can't die, this damage is not what I thought it would be. Could I put my controller on the ground, walk away, and come back to a dead boss? Absolutely. But at this point, I know there's something missing. I just can't seem to figure out what it is. I still have 3 available ring slots and no good rings, so I started grinding the Crucible, hoping for the best. For those of you who didn't know, there's a cool glitch you can do after killing the worm-filled enemies. If you can survive it, just kill the enemy and walk over it while holding up a shield. For some reason, it just spawns worms non-stop, triggering the explosion over and over. The XP you get from this is pathetic, so not really an XP glitch per se, but I'm sure someone out there can find a way to break it. After a few successful Crucible runs, I finally found the 2 rings I was looking for, funny enough, right next to each other. The snake ring, which deals damage on block, and in the chest right next to it, the thistle ring, which deals damage on damage taken. It's not technically thorns, it doesn't trigger when you block like thorns does, but it's pretty much the same thing. There's still just one last piece of equipment, and after my 7th or 8th Crucible run, it finally dropped. Falstead's Barricade, one of 2 legendary shields in the game. I had already used all my luck for this run, so the roll on it was complete dog shit, but I can always just use a few Radiant Embers to fix it. The only thing that matters on this shield is the deals damage on block. Now yes, the shield has a pearl on it, but someone explained to me why it's dealing as much, if not more damage than the thorns. If we look at the numbers here, 3 of them pop up. 120 is from thorns, 70 is from the snake ring, and a whopping 174 is from the shield. Now here's one of my other characters with the same shield and ring, but no thorns on the armor. The shield does 286 and the ring does 155. And can you guess why? This character is a physical damage build, which means thorns damage does not increase with buffs from physical damage, but for some godforsaken reason it does with damage on block. I am begging you, Moon Studios, please adjust thorns so that it scales with physical damage increase. I know you've already done it once, but this last buff would make this build really truly amazing. Anyways, I didn't realize any of this until after I had already started editing, but honestly everything is already dying in 2, sometimes only 1 hit. As you may have guessed, the boss in the Marin Woods didn't stand a chance. I pretty much just held the block button the entire time, but this cutscene right before your return to the Nameless Pass is just cinematic quality peak. And every single time I see it, it gets me so pumped to return to Caelin and watch the breach. These 2 church soldiers get a full cutscene to them just kicking ass, then smash cut to me standing still, doing nothing until the boss just kills itself. And that was No Rest for the Wicked without attacking. In the background, you'll see the results of exalting all of my gear and a few damage tests. But keep in mind, this is only a fraction of what this can do if you just focus physical damage increases and damage on block. I also don't have this gear with modeled pearls because in the 20 plus hours it took to do this run, I only found 2 of them. Thanks so much for watching though. I sincerely appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Why not subscribe if you enjoyed your time here? Massive shout out to the members as well. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Members get access to perks like the occasional members upload and a members badge. If you're interested in becoming a member, check the description for more details. Lastly, one big shout out to Raid for sponsoring the video. Use my Raid Shadow Legends link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses for new players with 2 epic champions. I'll see you all in the next one. Later.